Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to Hilaal Live. Now, before we go to Minister of International Relations, Dr. Naledi Pandor, delivering a speech to congregants in the capital city of Pretoria, we want to catch up with Hafiz Hassan Choonara and Africa Muslims Agency as they are conducting some work in the subcontinent country of Sri Lanka. Let me bring him into the conversation. Hafiz Hassan, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and jazakallah so much for joining us.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Faraj. Shukran for having us in Hilaal Live. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure having you on. Hafiz Hassan, when we talk of Sri Lanka, of course, there's the talks of cricketers, great cricketers that come from there. Of course, the beautiful tea that comes from Sri Lanka, but there's so much more to the country, isn't there?
Absolutely. Sri Lanka, a beautiful country, a tropical environment, amongst all the spectacular views of the greenery and the warm people that we met over the last few days. The welcome, alhamdulillah, that we received, but also beyond. And if you look deeper into the villages that's within these mountains, you find the hard reality of many homes that are in difficult situations. So yes, we know Sri Lanka of the many ambassadors of the country, like, for example, the cricket environment and the products that come from Sri Lanka, but also you come into the country and you find the situation where there are people that are in need, and we'll share a bit about that in a moment.
Alhamdulillah. Of course, there was political turmoil that happened 2 years ago, Hafiz Hassan, and I think that has spiltered into the country. Just talk to us about the difficulty many of the citizens of Sri Lanka face.
Absolutely. It's a country that's going into elections come the end of the year. Something that obviously a lot of you speak to the locals is something that they're looking forward to in terms of kind of changes that they want to happen to see in the country. It's a country that's facing a bit of economic stress at the moment over the last number of years, quite a bit of inflation. You find many of the homes, especially in the village, huge composite of number of family members staying in a home in a smaller environment. Huge numbers, maybe 8, 9, 10 people within a home space, and not many breadwinners, maybe 1 or 2 breadwinners within a home environment. And the jobs that they are working in, not many to go by, but the ones that do find job, earning perhaps $1 or less per day. And you think of a home composite of 12 persons plus, you need a lot more than that to make ends meet. As a result, you find many homes eating bare necessities, basic necessities, really cutting into the finest, in terms of their consumption of food. And also the sad reality, Brother Faraz, I'm going to share with you, especially in the villages, there's a lack of access of clean drinking water. So you find many of the elderly having to use contaminated water for their consumption.
Hafiz Hassan, this isn't the first time Africa Muslims Agency has, of course, been to the subcontinent. It's part and parcel of work that your agency has been doing for quite a number of times. So what is the work being done right now in Sri Lanka to help many of these poor people?
We talk about Africa Muslim Agency going beyond right now in different parts of the world, going beyond in terms of going beyond difficult situations, going beyond hard to reach areas, going beyond traversing difficult situations, reaching the most hard-to-reach areas, so to speak. And likewise here in Sri Lanka, getting to the most remote villages. It took us some time to get to where we are at the moment, up in the mountains, in these villages. But yeah, to ensure that people receive their benefit with regards to the aid that they will receive. We talk about the subcontinent. Yes, alhamdulillah, the team has been active in Pakistan in the past. Also, we have a base in Afghanistan, full-time workers helping on many fronts. And likewise here in Sri Lanka, the team going beyond to assist families beyond the ordinary. You talk about, just to give you an example, Brother Faraz, yesterday, I was sitting with one of the a local brother, and we were just chatting over the situation by his home, etc. And you talk about he's talking about more than 12 members within his family, and he's being the only breadwinner, and he does some basic transport. And so we were discussing, and then obviously I got a bit of a meal there, and I told him, okay, brother, why don't you get yourself a meal as well, and obviously at first very hesitant, but then he took the meal. He bought for himself as well. I said, okay, let's share. We're engaging. Let's have a bit of a discussion. He said, no, I'll take it home to my children. And that just kind of hit me a bit hard, wow. And he further went on to say that during the day, perhaps his clients, whoever he's assisting or helping, would then get him a meal or share with him a meal or buy him a meal, whatever it is, during his work time, but he would refuse because he cannot see himself having a morsel of food during the day when he knows full well at home there are families who haven't eaten. And that really hit hard. We know, Brother Faraz, it's hours away from the month of Ramadan. And you know the situation in Ramadan, already preparing. And you think of just the time of iftar. And think of iftar time, you know, we have the Zamzam bottle there, the glass. We have the a glass of water. You have perhaps a bit of a paluda or sherbet common in our homes during the month of Ramadan. You have probably a fizzy drink and a juice. Multiple drinks, you know, a choice. Alhamdulillah, Allah grant barakat to one and all. But think of the families right now in the villages here in Sri Lanka. When the time of iftar sets in, that elderly gentleman who's living in a makeshift home that he built himself on makeshift bricks and mud, hasn't eaten a proper nourished meal for some time, probably just rice and soya for days when there is means and when there isn't, they haven't had. And now come the time of iftar, he's going to use contaminated water to break a fast that perhaps you and I also fasted the same day in a different part of the world. Supplicated to Allah like you and I did. Also, did whatever He did for the day as Ramadan asks of us to do. But how can we allow such a situation for these elderly people who are fit to be our grandfathers and fathers to break their fast with contaminated water when we have a spread and a choice of different drinks at our iftar table? Yes, we should have, and Allah give one and all more. But let us also think of those that are in need. And likewise, we're talking to you live from Sri Lanka. People here are in need.
Hafiz Hassan, one final question. How can our viewers and those wanting to help the people of Sri Lanka donate?
African Muslims Agency is going beyond this Ramadan to empower the widows, orphans, and communities in the villages of Sri Lanka as well as 22 other countries. Go to africamuslimsagency.co.za and join us as we go beyond this Ramadan. In Ramadan, normally we do more supplication, tarawih, salah, Quran recitation. Let's do more in our generosity, in our acts of generosity, so we can empower more communities across the globe in Palestine, Gaza, Yemen, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, South Africa, Africa, and many other countries. AfricanMuslimsAgency.co.za. Join us as we go beyond for a better world.
Alhamdulillah, Hafiz Hassan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring you back safely here to us here in South Africa. But may He also grant you the ability to continue the fantastic work you are doing, especially now in Sri Lanka. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That's Hafiz Hassan Choonara coming to us from Kandy in Sri Lanka. Do stay tuned to Hilaal Live. We'll have more for you after this break.